And now the Hansons and Hiatus Podcast with Nate and Alexis.
Happy Friday, fuckers. It is episode 59 of the Hansons on Hiatus Podcast. I'm your host, Nate. This is my wife, Alexis.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
And don't forget to support the podcast. buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. You can buy some virtual beers that we will happily drink.
Turn into real beers.
Yeah, every time. And then I turn it into peepees.
Jeez.
And also, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the things, share, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, Google Podcasts, all the casts.
All the casts. Please share us with your friends and family. They may want to hear too, don't be selfish.
So, so we are continuing from last week. We were left off that we were going to do some activities this past weekend.
Yes.
And the first thing was we were going to Tulum for a mezcal tasting.
Yeah.
And this was kind of through work-ish. You're doing the Airbnb management, and one of the owners wanted to put together like a mezcal tasting that they could offer the Airbnb guests. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
And it was also her birthday. So we've yet to meet her. So then she invited us down, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was a great, beautiful area.
So we took the audio down there, the bus, and what did you say the bus driver was doing?
You were editing something, but I just kept watching him. He kept like moving around and doing things with his hands. I was like, is he like learning sign language or something? And I'm just like watching him for a minute, and he has these little like readers, and he's taking them from his little compartment on the bus, putting them on, taking them off, getting this little cheat sheet out of his pocket, kept looking at it. Then he's doing things with his hands. I'm like, this guy is driving and learning sign language at the same time. Like, what?
There's only one sign when you're driving, and it's the middle finger.
I didn't even recognize anything. Not that I'm, fluent in sign language.
I didn't recognize Mexican sign language.
Oh, true. Yes, that too. Didn't even think of that.
Yeah. So that was interesting.
Yeah, that was fun. That kept me occupied for a little bit.
Yeah. So we've talked before about our friends Tom and Cindy. And that's who you work with, and also our good friends, and they live down there, so they picked us up from the the bus station. And then I think we hung out at their house for a little bit, and then went over to the Airbnb unit. Do they live like in another one, or how? Like, where do they all stay when they're down there, but then renting out their places?
Yeah, I think a couple of the owners have a couple. So they own a couple. They'll be in one or the other. They have one for renting out to, Airbnb people. And then they have one for like their family, I guess.
Gotcha. Yeah. So the mezcal tasting, it started off, they ordered us pizza. Yeah. Super nice. Really good nice. Pizza. What else do we have? Some cheese and bread. We brought our own drinks. They had wine and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's like, this is a nice place. This is like a very Tulum chic really nice. Rental, and just beautiful. So we're all sitting around the table just talking and getting to know each other because you're meeting your clients and everything. Yeah. And then this guy just walks in and he goes, "Oh, you guys didn't think it was weird that I just walked in?" And we're like, "No." I was like, "Hey, we knew you were coming, but we didn't know who he was." Yeah. And it was the mezcal tasting. I don't know. What would you call him?
Person.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if there's like a sommelier or
yeah, there probably is.
Yeah, some name for him, whatever. But and if you're unfamiliar, mezcal is, so there's like mezcal is like anything made or distilled with agave, if I remember correctly. Right. And tequila is a type of mezcal because it's only blue agave. So technically tequila is mezcal, but mezcal isn't always tequila. Right. It's like not a blanket, but like a large group, and then tequila is a certain type of agave underneath that. Right. And most of them are distilled the same way. They have like a lot of the mezcals had the smoky flavor. They were from Oaxaca or whatever. Yeah. So that's what we're doing. So we're doing this kind of like tasting. It's almost like a whiskey tasting or a wine tasting.
Yeah, a lot of people like to do that down here. Of course, tequila is big in Mexico, so they want to taste some tequila or mezcal. A lot of people love that smoky kind of flavor. It's not my cup of tea, but I'll have a little sip.
Yeah, you had. And the guy walks in. First of all, kind of got on my bad side because I was trying to make small talk with him. First of all, he comes in wearing a 76ers shirt on.
Yeah, a t-shirt. I wore like a nice, a sundress.
Dress.
You guys had button-up shirts on with collars or, polos and stuff on. He walked in with like a t-shirt that looks like he'd been wearing all day.
Yeah.
Which I
It was
guess
like,
is fine, but
yeah,
these
and
are nicer clients.
and this was just like a trial run, but
Right.
like, yeah, maybe dress up a little bit because we couldn't use
Absolutely.
any pictures or anything from it because he was,
Yeah.
whatever. But he seemed like a friendly guy.
Yep.
So I tried to start talking to him a little bit and I was like, oh, how long have you been here? I think he said like 5 years in Tulum. And I was like, oh, yeah, we live up in Playa del Carmen. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
okay.
I'm sorry. I was like,
And he's like,
I'm sorry for you. I don't know.
yeah. And then
I'm
he's
sorry
like,
too.
oh, I think I've only been to Playa like 6 times in my life. And that was to go to the movie theater. Like he
Yeah.
couldn't stand to be there. And I was like, okay, Playa del Carmen, I get it. It's like it's a larger kind of touristy type city.
Yeah.
But Tulum has a pretty bad reputation as well as being
Yeah.
kind of a douchey influencer or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's like we all get like a bad rap in this area, because it's a tourist. The Riviera Maya is where a lot of people
Yeah.
come to visit, and it's not like the rest of Mexico typically.
I couldn't imagine saying to anyone where they tell me they're from or they live and going, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I couldn't imagine ever doing that to anybody.
Yeah.
I would never do that. It'd be like rude.
So he sets his bottles of mezcal out, and they had some very nice like kind of taster shot glasses that the clients had,
Yeah.
and he pulls out all these different shot glasses. It looked like it was from like a college dorm room, like they were just,
Well, his thing was like it had to be an open face glass.
Got it.
And
Oh,
the
to, like,
shot
breathe.
glasses were too small.
Gotcha.
So yeah, they needed to be bigger. But yeah, maybe just pop by the grocery store and get the same cup.
Yeah, maybe buy 6 of them.
I don't
I don't
know.
know. But no, it's
Just-
fine. That
yeah.
wasn't even whatever. But this guy was very knowledgeable. He
Right.
gave us a ton of information
Yep.
on where these different mezcals are from, what
Yeah.
kind of wood they used,
Yeah.
what kind of agave it was.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was very interesting.
I didn't know there were so many variations and like you're saying the wood and the different agave and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So
And then one of the
Cool.
clients was talking about like, oh, our son owns a bar in New York City or something, and this is his favorite type of tequila. And she shows him a picture of it, and he's like, oh, that's crap. He's like, you don't want to drink that. This is what you need to drink or whatever. And it's like, okay, so I
Yeah.
get like maybe it was crap. I don't know. But you don't say that to the people that are saying this is my kid's favorite one, and you're
Well,
like, oh, this is garbage.
it was their son's boyfriend's favorite, and he goes, where is he from? And she's like, Mexico City.
Oh, really?
Like, he's Mexican. He's not from the States or
Oh, I
anything
didn't
like
hear
that.
that part.
Yeah, I was like, boom, burn.
So
But
anyway.
nobody seemed bothered by it. Maybe
Yeah.
we were just a little like, "Ugh, be on your best behavior.
Yeah. So yeah, the guy kind of rubbed us the wrong way. He was knowledgeable and he was friendly, but it was just something. He was cussing a lot, which we don't care. But I guess
man.
some of the clients are kind of religious and don't
Yeah.
like to cuss as much. So
Yeah.
So
And
strike 4.
It's kind of like hard when you ask somebody you're having like a good time. He was kind of like, oh, do you guys mind if I cuss? Because I cuss like a sailor. Okay. And then just continued on. But there was no breath in between to be like, yeah, I don't really like that. Or not, maybe no one would have said anything, but there wasn't a pause to be like, yeah, I really don't like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that was about it. Other than I think we were just bullshitting at the end of it. And I said something. I was like, "Oh yeah, come on!" And I was trying to be friendly. I was like, "Yeah, come on up to Playa sometime." He's like, huh, "Playa." Like he
Yeah.
thought it was silly that I call it. I was like, "That's what people call it. It's like
Yeah.
come up to the beach. It's Playa del Carmen. Carmen's Beach." So
PDC?
that's like what people say. It's not like we made up this fucking word or whatever. But I was like, whatever. Enjoy your Tuluminati.
It was good. It was a fun time. We got to mingle with everybody. It was good tasting, good food, and I didn't feel terrible the next day. So obviously, it was good mezcal.
Well, you were lucky because that's not what most of us felt.
I was tired for sure, but I didn't feel like I drank a bunch
I felt
of
pretty
tequila.
gross, but I don't think it was from that. It might have been because I was drinking some beers also, and we had pizza and then some bread and cheese and stuff. But that night we left, and we were originally just going to take a taxi home, and Tom's like, "Nah, I think I'm good." And then we started driving, and we got like a block away, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm not good."
No.
So we just pulled over right away, parked in the hospital, and then we walked and got some rib street tacos.
Oh, thank God for those tacos. I didn't even realize that we parked in a hospital parking lot.
Oh yeah,
I
so
didn't
probably a
know
good thing that we all parked.
it was probably really good. Walked it off a little bit.
Yeah.
Those
So,
tacos were many.
Yeah, and then we had to walk home from there. I mean, not had to, but I'm glad we did because he shouldn't. If he didn't think he was good, I'm glad he said something and didn't just try to like one eye it, like, oh, I'm gonna make it.
It wasn't far at all, so it was great.
So then the next day, we didn't know what we were like. We didn't want to stay in Tulum super late, so we're like, oh, maybe we'll just go to the beach for like an hour or something. And I was not feeling great. I didn't feel like queasy sick. I just had a pretty bad headache. Maybe I was just dehydrated or something.
Probably.
And then of course we had to go get the car, and so Tom and I had to ride on the scooter together. So it's me, Tom, and his dog Bolly in a bag on his chest, and I'm like,
my God.
all right, we're part of the team now, man.
You are.
We just needed a ladder and a wife and a baby, and we'd be straight up Mexican.
So Mexican. Hashtag so Mexican. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. So then, but then I had to drive the scooter back by myself, hungover, and like, ugh.
The scooter is like the Mexican clown car. Like they can put a bunch of people on.
Oh yeah,
I don't
it's
know
impressive.
how they do it.
It's a skill. It's a skill. You have to be born here to be able to do it.
Yes.
But then Tom decided that, or suggested that we should go to this lagoon that he's been talking about for a while, and it's fresh water, not ocean water, fresh water, but it's kind of like Bacalar, just crystal clear, or not even crystal clear, but just like these vibrant colors of like blue and aqua and emerald, and really pretty. And you pay like 200 pesos to get in, so like 11-ish, $12. And they have bathrooms and kayaks you can use. There's a restaurant. There's hammocks. You can swim, volleyball. What else am I missing? Tetherball. I haven't seen a tetherball fucking court since 1994.
And not just one. There was two.
Yeah,
two tetherball.
just in case there's somebody playing and you're like, I want to play tetherball.
I guess so. Like, get out of my way. I need to play.
So we played some volleyball. But it was great. We brought Bali. We brought beers and food, and you can also rent a barbecue grill there. So
that was the coolest part. Like you can wheel out a huge charcoal grill, and they provide the charcoal. Like we're going back there.
I wish I could remember the name of it. It was like Napolito or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Something along those lines. Starts with an N, but it's about 15 minutes south of Cancun. So if you're looking at going, shoot us a message. I can find the real name for it.
Yeah.
But
it was beautiful.
Oh, and then going to this beach club, it was like sketchy as fuck. Like we were straight up through the jungle, and there's like little shacks, and there's dogs that look like they haven't eaten in quite a while.
Yes, all the roads are like this. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah, we had to pay 50 pesos for the dog Bali to come in.
Yes, of course.
But while we're at this lagoon, we were like, all right, we got to start wrapping up. We probably better get back.
Yeah.
And so I start looking at the bus tickets, and there was one in like an hour, and then there was another bus in like 3 hours. And they're like, okay, we'll do the 3-hour one. Yeah. Click the 3-hour one, buy the tickets. And then, a couple hours later, we're like, all right, let's go pack everything up. They take us back to Tulum, drop us off at the bus station. And we're sitting there on the, what's it?
Oh, first we got Chinese food.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, we did get
to go.
Yeah, to go.
Really good.
So we got some Chinese food to go, which they always fuck us over on egg rolls for some reason.
I don't know why they're trying to screw us. It's supposed to come with an egg roll. You get a side and a meat. You get like rice or noodles or both, and then a meat, and then you get an egg roll that comes with it. But this time I had to remind them again, and we paid for it.
I know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But anyway,
my egg roll.
So we got the Chinese food. We're sitting down outside of we didn't want to go into the bus station yet because we saw a drug dog there.
Yes.
And I mean, we just had like our vape pen, so it wasn't a big deal.
But don't bother me.
Yeah, but we didn't want to deal with it. So we sat outside, and we were maybe 30 minutes early.
Yeah.
Which is, rare because usually the bus is leaving 10 minutes late.
Yeah.
So we're sitting in front of that gas station. And this guy, did he sit down or was he already there sleeping?
He had stuff there and he was like walking around. So then he sat down behind us, started playing his music, and then just like tipped over and went to sleep.
Yeah. And his music was so if you watch our Instagram stories, you might have seen it, but it was just like blaring Mexican, which was fine. But it was just funny because I'm like, who is playing this music? And this guy's passed out. He's not even listening to the music.
I think it was his like sleepy time music. It put him to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone was being a little too loud. Let me play my blaring Mexico music to soothe me to sleep.
And so we're sitting there. We're just killing time before we go into the bus station. We're waiting until like 10 minutes before. And then we see the drug dog just start darting after this guy that was walking by.
Yeah. We're like, oh.
And the policia grab him, and they're like reaching in his bag or something. The dog's still trying to pull his bag. So I don't know what ended up happening, if he got arrested or if he had like Scooby snacks in his pouch.
Something. I saw the dog biting on his little like pouch, so I don't know, but they didn't take it. So
yeah, who knows?
He was fine.
So then we're like, all right, we better go into the bus, and I start looking at what seats we are, and I look at the time, and it's for 2 or 3 hours ago.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, wait. I was like, I know for a fact I clicked the later bus.
Yeah. And this isn't your first rodeo.
No,
You've
definitely.
done this a
Like,
bunch
I
of times.
know I did. And maybe I didn't double check it at the checkout, but because I was showing Tom and I was like, all right, click, press the later one.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the fuck? And of course, these buses, which they're great, but if you miss your bus, you don't just reschedule because the seats are like flying on an airplane.
Yeah.
Like you have an assigned seat, and if you don't use it, then nobody can sit there. So they don't let you just fucking reschedule.
Yeah.
Unless it's been only 30 minutes since you missed the bus. So like I go back up there and I was like, hey, are there any more seats for this bus? It was leaving in like 3 minutes. And what did she say? Oh, there's 2 seats left.
2 seats left. Actually, you were trying to buy new tickets online and it said sold out. There were no more tickets.
Yes.
And you were like, oh no, what do we do? I was like, let's just go ask just in case they're, Mexico, things don't update as quick as we would like them to. So you go up and they got 2 seats, not together, but 2 seats. I was like, yes.
Yeah. But I was trying. So if you miss your bus and it's within 30 minutes, they'll give you 50% off your next ticket. So I was trying to ask for the discount.
50%? I can't even get the whole thing.
Right.
Come on.
And I was asking for the discount and she's like, no, it's only 30 minutes. And it had been like 2 hours past the last one. So I was like, oh yeah, forgot about that.
She looked at us like, just get on the bus.
But most people don't know about that. Cause like I said on that other
Yeah.
episode, like the guy was like, no. And I was like, it's right on here on your website. And he was like, okay.
Right.
Like, motherfucker. Yeah. So we almost missed the bus. We got on the bus. We were separate seats. We weren't sitting together, but we're like, just fucking get us back.
Just get us back. We
Yeah.
don't care. We don't want to wait 3 more hours.
No. And then once we got back and we were walking home, we've been watching this construction, like it was like an apartment building or something that's being
Yeah.
built for a while.
Looks
And
sketch.
fun fact, a lot of the construction workers live in the building that is under construction while they're building it.
Yes.
So I think maybe they come from outside the city or something to come down here and do like construction work,
Yeah.
and they need a place to stay. So while they're building it, they let them, hang out in it.
Yeah.
And this one is still like cement walls and everything. And we look in and there's a dude on a couch, like in his underwear.
Yep.
And they lifted a couch in there and he's in his underwear, like eating some like rice and beans or something.
I don't know
and-
how they got that couch up there, but we were like, oh, that's a guy in his underpants. What the heck?
Yeah. So then let's see, was that Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday.
Thursday,
Okay,
and then Friday. No, it wasn't Friday. When did we go to? Oh, Friday went to the last Interplaya soccer match.
Yep. That was it.
Last home game
We
of the
won.
season. We won.
One zip.
I don't think we didn't make it to the playoffs. We didn't have a good enough record or
Right.
enough points, but our junior team did, so they're playing this
that's
weekend
nice.
sometime
Oh,
or tomorrow actually.
oh, nice.
And so we did that, and then on Saturday we had our 420 party.
We did. It was great.
Yeah, so basically we used to do this in like Orlando.
Yeah.
And we would just get, some of our stoner friends together and we'd watch movies and smoke and
Eat and
eat
bake.
snacks and make edibles and stuff like that. So this one we didn't do all that. We just got a bunch of snacks and beers and weed and
Yeah.
just went up to the
And
pool.
weed.
But we invited a bunch of like some of my Mexican friends came over and they brought these blunts with damn, they were strong. They
Yes.
were good.
They brought a lot.
I think we smoked 3 of them in like the first hour.
Yeah. I was like, please no more.
And they brought these ribs. Oh, they were so good. And I made little smokies, like the
You
little
did.
smoky weenie things.
Little salchichas.
Yeah. But I don't think anybody knew what they were. I did the ones where they were in like barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked them. They
no,
were delicious.
fuck, they were delicious. Yeah. But yeah, we had all these different snacks and everything. And then just people showing up throughout the day. I think we
Yeah.
had people from Mexico, Canada, Honduras, Ireland, and the U.S.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a good
Canada.
multicultural 420.
We did. It was fun.
What did you asked our neighbor, or maybe she was asking you about 420 and like, what does this mean or whatever? Was she
Yeah,
telling you?
she's Mexican. She was like, I don't understand what we're celebrating. And so I had to like break it down for a little bit. I was like, it started in the West Coast, California, and the hippies and this and that. Isn't it like the call code for police?
Nah,
in the
well,
United
it might
States
be,
or
but
something like
there's a
that?
bunch of different stories. From
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I
yeah.
understand, it was the time these high school kids got together and went and got high was 420.
Ah.
But it's also it's the supposed to be the police code or it's something else. Hitler's birthday and a bunch of different ones. I think the school one is true, but I cannot confirm or deny that because there's tons of them.
So we explained it to her. We're just like, pretty much, you get together, you smoke weed and have some snacks. And she was like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Like, sounds fun.
It is funny because I saw her when she was coming up to her place and I was walking down the hall and she was like, happy 420.
Oh,
and she was like, like giggling. And I was like, it's so cute. Oh, man. But yeah, we had a great turnout. But then people were coming and going. And then it got down towards the end of the party, I guess, like around 5. And we were playing Jenga in a group. And it was just a small group of 4 of us. And one of our friends had left and then came back with this guy that, like, they were just being weird. Like, I got the impression that they had told this guy, like, hey, if you come back to this party, they'll smoke you up for free or whatever. Because we were all just passing stuff around. Which is fine. Edibles.
We were sharing.
Whatever. But, like, it just felt weird because he kept on, like, dropping hints like, yeah, I haven't smoked since blah, blah, blah. And we're all in a circle playing this game. And they're, like, behind us. Yeah. We're playing Jenga. And
he's like, I smoked all my weed today. I smoked it already or whatever.
Yeah, and he kept on like dropping hints or whatever. And in my head, I was like, fuck this guy. I was like, I'm not going to turn around. Like, we're just going to play this game and I'm going to ignore him. I had the bong right in front of me and I was like, I'm not going to hit it. And then we had like a joint or whatever. And then this guy kept on like kind of saying things. And I was like, all right, motherfucker, here we go. I was like, all right, yeah, let's smoke. So I pulled out the bong, fucking loaded it, took a rip off of it. I gave it to him and then these other 2 girls that came up with him. And they all hit it, and then I handed it to them again. They hit it again, and handed it again. They hit it again, and then we were going up to watch the sunset, and we had a blunt ready to go, and we all go up there, and they're just standing there and go, "Oh, you guys want some of this?" And they're all like, "No, I'm okay." So we just like got
sleepy.
these weed moochers. We just got them high as fuck, so they couldn't even smoke anymore. It was like, "That's how you get it, buddy."
Yes, gotcha.
Yeah, gotcha, motherfucker.
They were like having trouble going downstairs.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Oh shoot, what else? So there's me and our neighbor upstairs, Sydney. Mm-hmm. She messages us and says, "Hey, there's this area which we know about. There's this one area north of us, and most of Playa is pretty developed within the city, but there's this one kind of like untouched jungle area that is all fenced off. As long as we've been here, it's never been built on, as far as we had known. Yeah. But when you walk by it, there's these unfinished like condos inside of it." And you see like some people going in sometimes. Every now and then there's a guard stand. So
you can see clothes hanging. Like if you look hard at, through enough, you can see stuff. Like people are drying clothes and like walking around or whatever. So stuff's back there.
So like we've never really known, like it's been like boggling my mind ever since we've started coming here. Yeah. And our neighbor goes, "Hey, our friend that's in this yoga studio is going to move there. And it's a commune that lives in there." Mm-hmm. And we're like, what? Oh, so like this land is like protected, like they can't build on it. So I don't know how these like half-built buildings happen. Yeah. Maybe they just start building it and the government shut it down because maybe they're just trying to squat on this land or something.
We only want half buildings, don't worry.
And not this commune, just the developer.
Yeah, yeah. And
so I was like, so she says, yeah, there's this commune that lives on it and they're having an open house on Sunday. Do you want to go check it out? I was like, fuck yeah, I do.
It seems weird.
Super weird. So I was like, what? I had no idea what to expect. I'm thinking like the movie The Beach, where there's this group of travelers and they live in like huts or whatever. Yeah. So
everybody has a job.
Right. So we go in there, and that is what it's like. So they all live in this abandoned condo / hotel or whatever. Or it's not even abandoned. Like it was just never done. It's just literally cement squares, open walls, everything like that.
I only got through like part 1.
Yeah. And we go in there and this like hippie looking lady comes up to us. She's like, "Oh, can I help you?" And we're like, "We're here for the open house." And she looks at the other people sitting there and they're like, "No, we don't know what you're talking about." And then we keep
everywhere
trying to explain it, and she goes, "Oh, like a tour?" Like, and we're like, "Yeah, the tour. Like, you're gonna show us around the thing." Yeah. She's like, "Oh, go this way." So we go and we sign up, and we give them our email address and everything, and they're like, "Oh, just go off into the jungle this way, and meet up with the group." Oh, so we're walking around.
How far are they?
We're walking. I don't know. They said 100 yards. So I'm like, we're walking around, or maybe meters. I don't know. So we're walking around, and they have like pineapple and papaya and all these like this garden, all these fruits and vegetables and stuff growing. The buildings are, like I said, just quote unquote abandoned, and you can tell people are living in there. Some of them, they actually have windows in it, so they have like a place, and they got generators and like rainwater, and it was just insane.
Crazy.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. And so from what they told us, or what our neighbor's friend told us, is people that want to live there, there's about 25 to 30 people that live there. They have children there. They have a school there. They have an art studio. They have a library. And they all just live in these abandoned buildings, and they're right on the beach.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you walk out of their like compound, out of the trees, like you're right on the beach. So they watch the sunset and they do yoga, and they have like some kind of hierarchy of people. But then the couple that started it, I guess, split up. And the wife or girlfriend or whatever started her own like group in there, and then the husband has the other. So there's these two kind of like not rival, but two separate groups in this commune.
Oh, great.
Yeah, super fucking weird.
Yeah.
But I guess you can pay $500 a month to live there with them, or you can work 4 hours a day, 6 days a week to do the same. And so like,
can I do like half and half?
Maybe, I don't know, but so you can like work the garden, or maybe stand watch to make sure squatters don't come in on their commune or whatever. But there was like an empty pool that looked like it was an amazing like resort pool like they were building that they just never did, and it's just all really fucking fascinating. Like I had no idea this existed. I'm super curious about it now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I could tell.
Yeah, so
that's crazy.
I don't know. So I want to fly my drone over there, but I'd really like to know more and just know the history of like, how did you guys get it? First of all, who was building in there that stopped? And then how did you guys get in there? And I don't know. It was just fucking wild. And everybody's walking through the jungle like barefoot. Ugh. They all speak like the little like blonde babies like speaking fluent Spanish, and they're like 5. Like it was just a really Spanish. Cool community. And it made me realize like, that would probably never be the lifestyle for me, but it is a really cool way to think that like these people just said, hey, fuck the rest of society. I'm still, even though this is like a big city or whatever, I'm still going to live in here and, you know, be very, you know, on the land, I guess, you know, growing your own food and stuff. And, and they grow a lot of plants, and I think they take the plants and sell them to like plant stores or something. Nice. Like they're doing their own cultivating.
Probably deck.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. Cool. What do you think about it? Would you live there?
No. Yeah, I need some walls and some AC sometimes, not all the time. But,
they had. I saw up in one window they had a laptop in there. They had a washer and dryer. Like I don't know if they're just generator or solar powered, but it's pretty interesting.
I can't say. I mean, that would be cool to live, you know, little community and whatever. But I am maybe too much of an introvert to want all that. I want my walls and my door, and you know, I don't want to bugs find me and bite me and hunt me down. So I couldn't sleep out there.
Actually, that's what I said to Sydney when we were walking through and when we never met up with those people. But then when
still in the jungle.
When we were coming back around, it was a Mexican scout, like Boy Scouts, but like Mexican Boy Scouts or whatever. And they're so cute. They had like their little outfits on, and they had these little clapping things, and it was really cute.
So cute.
But I thought it was cool that they took these Boy Scouts to show these, like, this is how people actually live in the fucking woods, you know, by themselves or in the jungle. Huh. Yeah. So
very cool. Not my cup of tea.
I'll have to take you sometime.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Next time. And at the very end, they did this like ceremony on the beach where they all danced and, you know, shook their bongos and played drums.
Very cool. Like a drum circle.
Whatever they do. Yeah, basically. Yeah, drum circle.
Nice.
And they just have this dance that they do every Sunday, I guess.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Sunday dance.
Yeah. But other than that, your brother's in town.
He is.
And so what's he doing down here?
He's here for some, I don't even know the name of the festival. There's some EDM festival in Cancun. It's this weekend, so they came and stayed here the whole week. He brought a couple buddies, so I'm excited. We're going to do some adventuring around Cozumel, and where else are we going to go? Tulum?
Yeah, possibly Tulum, see the ruins, depending on how they feel.
Yeah, so it's nice. We've had, fun so far. He's got one guy and one girl, so we've been hearing different stories of their travels and whatever, and they've been all over.
Yeah, but we were at a restaurant, and I was talking about like having weed gummies down here or whatever. Yeah. And one of your brother's friends goes, oh yeah, I brought some cookies, or I brought some edibles. That's what he said. He's like, I brought some edibles, and we're like, oh, okay, cool. You know, he's like, I want to, give you some or something like that.
Yeah.
And so then we go back to our apartment, And then you were over there talking to him, and what did he say?
Yeah, I was just showing them. I can't remember what I was showing them, but his one friend pulls out this giant Ziploc bag, and these huge fluffy cookies are inside. And he was like, I've been carrying these cookies and just taking little like bites of them like all day. And I'm like, damn. He was like, do you want some? And I'm like, I don't know. No, I'm okay. Especially if we're about to go on the roof and smoke. Like, I'm okay. But let me ask Nate. He was like, oh, okay. Come over, get you. I'm like, hey, dude wants to show you something. Like, whatever. Bring you over, shows you the cookies, and says the same thing to you, right?
Yeah, he was like, oh, do you want some of these cookies? And I kind of gave like a hesitation. He goes, oh, we're going to go smoke a joint on the roof. I forgot you. And I was like, yeah, let me see how, we feel after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I had also said something like that. I was like, not too much for me. And I was like, don't give Nate too many of these either, because he gets, fucked up if he takes too many edibles or whatever. Yeah. So he's like, oh, okay. Go to the roof.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
And then we're hanging out. We smoke, and then, we're sitting there, and he goes, hey, again, do you want some of the cookie? And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. And he starts telling me about they're from Ohio and they're from blah, blah, blah farms or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, what are like the weed laws like there in Ohio? Are they medical, or are they rec or whatever? And he's like, oh, it's rec, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And so I go to eat some of the cookie, and I was like, well, how much should I have? Like, just like a little bit? And he's like, I don't know, it's a cookie. Have as much as you want. So I'm thinking like, oh, okay, this is probably like maybe like a standard cookie from this blah, blah, blah farms dispensary. And maybe they're all 100 milligrams or whatever. And it's just like however much you think you need. And so I'm thinking like, I should know this.
Like, you just don't know the cookie dosage these days.
Yeah.
We're out of the loop.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, so I just take a little piece and I eat it, and I'm like munching on it. And I'm like, all right, well, how long's, it take to like kick in, because ours usually take like an hour or something. And he kind of like looks at me crazy, like, what? And I was like, oh my God, these are not weed cookies. These are just regular cookies.
It doesn't make sense to me.
No. Like the whole time when you're like, don't give Nate too much.
Day one, this kid probably thinks they do not need any more weed. Your brother-in-law and sister are insane because they're talking to me like these are weed cookies the whole time. But he did not correct us or stop us from until the very end, like, oh, these aren't weed cookies. And he still didn't say it to you. You said it.
No, and then I think back of when I was asking him questions, he's probably like, he's telling me about these gourmet cookies. Like it's like those crumble cookies.
And they did say about crumble cookies, and I was
that
like,
was afterwards.
Oh, true. I was like, well, those aren't weed cookies. These are weed cookies.
But so he's asking me about these cookies, and so then I like take a left turn, and I'm like, how's the weed laws there? And he's probably like, what the fuck are you talking about? God. And then he's probably even more confused when I was like, oh, how much should I eat? And he's like, I don't know, it's a cookie.
Eat the cookie, or you want to diet? I don't give a fuck.
That's like me handing you a banana and be like, you say, how much should I eat? And I was like, I don't know, it's a fucking banana.
You would have been like, what is wrong with you? Very sweet kid. He didn't say anything to us.
Oh yeah, super nice.
Yeah, just going with the flow. We're dumb.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, but he didn't correct us, and he was talking about having edibles, and then he's like, I want to show you something. I was like, why does he want to show me cookies if they weren't, edibles?
Yeah, you can keep your cookies, sir. I appreciate sharing, but keep them. You
might need them. They were really good. I wish I had eaten more, in fact.
They were really big too, and they looked like it was a giant
they were like
cookies.
Yeah, and then some of them were broken, like he had been eating some or whatever.
Like, oh, those look good. Yeah. Those look like some good cookies.
I felt dumb, but it wasn't even him or me. It was just a miscommunication of hilarity.
It was me because I led you on. It was all my fault.
But he did tell me that he brought edibles, and so like then when he offers me cookies, I think, hey, that's the next best thing.
And he said edibles, so that's why I thought the cookies were the edibles. He didn't say gummies because we then said, oh, we do too. We have gummies. Yes. But he didn't clarify, so I just assumed when he said I have these cookies that those were the things.
Yes.
The edibles. So. Oopsies.
Yes. All right. Well, shoot. All right. Well, that's probably good for this week.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, it's been one day with them, so I'm sure we'll have some more funny ass stories.
Yes.
All right. Well, don't forget to support the podcast. Buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. If you enjoy what you're hearing, you can buy us some virtual beers. We'd Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mucho, mucho, mucho. And don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, share on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, Google Podcasts. And if you are listening to this on some other platform, YouTube and Spotify have the video. So if you like to watch a video cast, you can watch us sit here in our kitchen.
It's really exciting.
Yes. But thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you have a great, safe rest of your weekend. Happy Friday, fuckers.
Happy Friday, fuckies.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now. Bye.